Today's weekend whiskey is something with a bit of history to it. This is what you call Nathan Green's Uncle Nearest. Well, it's the Nearest Green Distillery in Shelbyville, Tennessee. Uncle Nearest 1856 Premium Whiskey. This is the 100 proof bottle. Now, I haven't had this one before, but I have had another. So this one, we're going to have a couple of stories with it. But as always, we're going to give it a pourability score, a smell score, and a taste score. All right, so let's get straight into it. Off with the pourability score. But first, you hear that cork? That cork had some liveliness to it, like there's ancestors in that cork. And we're gonna get into that story. Pourability. There's a little dribbling. There's a lot of dribbling. So I'm gonna be fair and I'm gonna give this pourability a 6 because there are a few drops of what is presumably good whiskey right here. So yeah, so we're gonna give pourability a 6 on that. And that's due to the small rum, as we discussed in our last video. Okay, now moving on to the smell score. Now it smells really smooth, like a syrupy woodiness. Yeah, definitely a sweet woodiness, not like a spicy sweet, more like a syrup, like not sap, syrup. Like it does smell kind of like just if there's a syrup tree, which I'm sure that's where syrup comes from, and you just left this out for 2 days and it was soaked in syrup and it was just a branch soaking in the sun. This is what it would smell like. That smell, and it smells light. Now this is 100 proof, but this smells like an 86 proof. So that's kind of on the nose telling me that that's going to be a smooth whiskey. So I'm gonna give this smell a 10. Now moving on to the taste. And that's where the taste gets you. That's where the taste gets you. You don't taste any syrup in this initial taste. It tastes like a lot of just burned spices, but a lot of them. Like just, to use the phrase, bottom of the barrel, but in a good way. Like this is the stuff that's been sitting in there the longest. Yeah, it's got like I scooped this up. We put a bunch of whiskey in a barrel and it's got the woodiness, yeah, but you know, we put our spices in and then we started emptying it out over the years. And this was the last little bit in there and we just scooped it up with a cup and just poured it into this bottle. So, and that's good. It tastes special. It tastes like, yeah, the rest of the barrel didn't taste like this. Maybe it did, I don't know. But what I do know is a little bit of history and some fun facts on this one. So we're gonna get into that. But taste-wise, let's go ahead, give it another taste. Yeah, and it doesn't taste like 100 proof. But it doesn't taste like the smell. And I always say that my 10s, whenever my smells and tastes are gonna line up, it's gonna be when I can smell what I'm gonna taste, when I can anticipate what it's gonna be. So I'm gonna give this taste a 9 because it tastes like you can visualize it. Like you can visualize just, this is the bottom of the barrel and this is just that special stuff that's just been left over and they put it in here. And I don't know if that's what it is. It just says remarkably smooth and aged to perfection. The best in class whiskey honors Tennessee's. So it's a lot of them patting themselves on the back on here. Prize for it, but yeah, it doesn't explain the process. Which why would a bottle explain that? But I will explain why this Uncle Nearest bottle is special. So my first time having Uncle Nearest was a birthday / Christmas gift from my mom. So my birthday is in September, and Christmas, as it is for you, is in December. So my mom forgot to get me a birthday gift. So she kept saying, "Oh, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for your birthday?" I'm like, "Just give me a bottle of whiskey." I don't get anything because she lives across town. So, I just hadn't been over there. So, I get over there on Christmas and she hands me this bag and it's a big bottle of whiskey. And I'm like, "Okay, what is Uncle Nearest?" And she was like, "Yeah, they told me the story about it." So I'm like, "What's the story?" And the story goes a little something like this. There's a guy named Nathan Green, but he wasn't just a regular guy like you or I. This guy was a trigger warning slave, and he had learned to distill whiskey through like water in Africa. So he already had a process, and he was a slave, right? So he pretty much knew how to distill his own whiskey, and he started making his own. Fast forward, I don't know the full story, as you can tell. I just know Nathan Green, he learned how to distill in Africa. He was a slave, but he eventually mentors a guy that you know, not personally. It's not the president. It's not your mayor. Uncle Nearest, and that's actually his nickname. So his name was Nathan Green, but went by the nickname Uncle Nearest. And he eventually started mentoring Jack Daniels. Yes, that Jack Daniels. So, and their distilleries are actually right next to each other. So this year, 1856, that's on the bottle. That's the year that the 13th Amendment was passed, I believe. And yeah, so that's why it is, because he eventually went from slavery to being a free man. So this is actually something with a little bit of Black history, and it is February, so this is a Black History Month drink. I don't know. I don't know if it's Black people that work at the distillery, but the thought there is, it's just interesting. Something from slave days on the counters of liquor stores, and hopefully his family makes money off of that. I don't know if he had family. I don't know that deep. But yeah, so that was an interesting bottle that my mom got me. She gave me the story that went along with it. I drank it, and let me tell you what happened when I drank it. I liked it. I was like, this is some good whiskey. This is some strong whiskey. But the night, oh boy, nightmares. Like the ancestors watching my sins. I was having nightmares. Every time I drank some of this, it wasn't this one, it was like, I feel like the bottle was like blue and goldish, but every time I drank it, every night I drank it, I had like a crazy intense nightmare. And some of those nightmares where you're swinging and it's like slow motion, and then they just take the punch and they're just like, and your hand goes away. I was swinging in these dreams. I was swinging. And it was like in a lot of the nightmares, it was like I was the bad guy. It was like, I don't know if this just gives you like the courage of like Nat Turner or something, but yeah, I was the bad guy in my nightmares, and it was like a lot of running from police and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Maybe it's something in here that just interacts with Black DNA. I don't know. And I hope it's not, because I don't know if it's all Black people making this. So, but not to make it a racial thing. This is just the history of this, and this is just my experience with this. Not this bottle particularly, but the Uncle Nearest brand. And yeah, had crazy nightmares drinking that. And I thought it was just like a one-off, so I drank it again. And these things were intense. Like waking up, like still not knowing. I don't know if you've ever had a nightmare when you were drunk. Because it's like you wake up with a hangover, and it's the same hangover you would wake up with if you did something crazy the night before. So part of you is like, oh, that was a crazy dream. And then the other part of you is like, I hope that was a crazy dream. So you start checking your car and you start making sure your keys ain't moved from where you last put them. But yeah, that gave me crazy dreams. But I like crazy dreams. It brings some thrill to life. But I can attest that Uncle Nearest is good. This is my first time trying this one. Which is, I mean, I know this one is 1856. I feel like the other one was a different year, maybe, or maybe I don't know. I have to look it up. I'll actually pop a picture in right here, or right there. I'll pop a picture in of the bottle that I had initially that my mom got me. But yeah, it's good stuff. And if you are, just want a piece of, history, this is the guy that essentially made Jack Daniels without making Jack Daniels. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna give the taste on this a 9. I give it a 9. It's good. It's just not what you smell. Smell is a 10. Pourability is, I believe, a 6. And that is this weekend's weekend whiskey. And let's just throw it out there. If you have a similar experience with Uncle Nearest, or maybe another drink that just gives you like crazy dreams, crazy nightmares, drop it in the comments, and let me know, because I am very interested. I am very interested. If I had dreams of just like Nat Turner type vibes, what kind of dreams and nightmares would a white person have after drinking this? Are they chasing me? I don't know. So yeah, but definitely a buy. Definitely a buy. This bottle costed me $54 at my liquor store, and no doubt would I buy it again. I'm gonna try to keep this on deck, or just some version of Uncle Nearest on deck, because I do like it. It is good stuff. And again, it brings some excitement to life. I work from home and I chill most of the day. So sometimes those dreams, that might be the most exercise I got that day. You never know. So yeah, as always, like, subscribe, share if you want to. I know some people don't want to let people know that they drink or they like watching people drink, but yeah, share it if you want to. And I know in my last video, which it seems like nobody watched, but so maybe I don't even need to say this part, but I did say that I would do just updates throughout the night, but I actually have something to do, so I'm not going to be able to just continue drinking this throughout the night and posting my updates like an hour in, 2 cups in. I'm not gonna be able to do that for this video, but when I don't have something to do when I shoot these, I'm definitely gonna try to keep that going forward, because I think that is fun and a little bit more of a better demonstration, and yeah, I want to try to add in some more fun activities. So maybe it'll be pop quizzes, maybe I'll be throwing darts at this board off screen. I'm gonna try not to play the video game, because editing the music with that matting in the background is terrible. But yeah, that is this weekend's weekend whiskey. Like, subscribe, comment. Don't be too prideful to comment. Don't be too prideful to like. Don't be too prideful to subscribe. I'll catch you next week.